Well, good afternoon, folks, and here we are at the Knowles Garden Tractors and Firewood. And nice looking day out there, isn't it, eh? Yeah, blue sky, some clouds, some sun, and it's 15 degrees Celsius, and no wind. Nice day. So here at Knowles Garden Tractors, and there's enough of them in here today. Oh, there's that cab again. Always jumping into the videos of Dave's favorite tractor. Yeah, there we go. All the garden tractors. And there you can see down the corner the firewood. Look at that, eh? So even though it's a nice day out, I do have a little fire on in the stove just to take the dampness out, I guess. So we got a few things to talk about today. Today's kind of a midweek update, I guess. So I know I've got all kinds of things I could talk about, and but more than likely I'm going to forget half of them or more of them. So we'll just close up the door there and let her do her thing. So what are we going to start at here? So we're going to sometime this week maybe I'm going to update the eye exercise chart over on this wall. We had a viewer that ended up with crossed eyes, so we don't want that. So we'll put up a new eye chart that's a little easier to look at, and there was one viewer also wanted an older chart, so I've got a new older chart to put up too. Well, it's the same one chart, but anyhow, it'd be easier on the fellow that had the crossed eyes, and the fellow that likes the older charts. It might be all right for him too. All right, so we'll move along here to whatever else I was going to do. Son took this here yesterday. We've had this for well over a year now. So this is going to be a winter project for me to take it apart and see what is what with it. So I'm guessing that there's a stuck valve, and the cord doesn't pull the engine over, so something wrong there. But when you, here's my rosy cup. But when you turn this, you get that noise out the exhaust. So it almost seems like the piston is going up and down. So the only thing I can think of is a valve stuck. So we're going to play with that. That'll be this winter sometime, or it could be next week. I don't know. Anyway, that'll be just something to do, I guess. So then what else have we got here? Oh, we've got the weights. These weights came off of the YT16H Ford. They're called a yard tractor. It's about a 1990 model. Anyway, I had these weights on it, and my son and I disassembled that tractor somewhat, I guess. So we took the engine out of it and any other kind of a dash items that we wanted and stuff. The hydro was bad in it, and I just didn't want to get into fixing that. And I had no idea where you'd get parts for it, and it would probably be very expensive to get parts for, it's not a very expensive tractor nowadays, that's for sure, being 35 years old. So anyway, the weights came off, so I thought, well, I could put those weights on Kablooey here because Kablooey is going to be into the snow this winter. But my original thought was to put those weights on the on Grunt. Now, if some of you have not been here before, Grunt is a Ford 1972 Ford LGT 100 garden tractor. And that's where I was going to put the weights, but then again I got thinking, well, Grunt doesn't usually have any trouble with traction for whatever it does, and it does not move any snow, so it's just kind of a pull the trailer and maybe pull the discs and the plow and cultivator kind of a thing. So, and we don't do much of that anymore. So the weights would be better used on kablooey. Now I thought this morning that they'd also would work well on Dave's. Sir Dave's favorite tractor could also get those weights, but I don't seem to have too much trouble with traction with that tractor, or this one either, I guess. But anyway, I'm gonna put them on kablooey, I think. I kind of had a little interest in weights for a while, a few years ago. I was buying up weights every time I seen them. So anyway, these ones here on the case those are 75 pounds a piece. So these ones here, I always thought they were 25 pounds. So I set them on that scale yesterday just for fun, and it showed 30. I said, oh, okay. So then I thought, well, I'll take the number. I put that number there into the computer, as John at Friggin calls it. And that AI thing, holy cats, that thing certainly comes up with answers quick, that's for sure. The AI, whatever it is, came up with a paragraph saying what the weights were and what they were for and all the blah, blah, blah about them. And they said they were 33 pounds. So there you go. So that's all right. Well, I think we'll stick them on kablooey here someday. And just a little added traction for kablooey. And they would fit on the case tractor. Any 12-inch wheel they will fit onto on a garden tractor. Same thing with the John Deere. And the Massey, 12 or 14 or 16. Any 12-inch wheel on a garden tractor, those will fit on. These on the case here are 16-inch wheels. So still don't have any room. As you can see, I have a little tiny path that I can kind of squeeze down through there, and that's it. So I can squeeze around the front of Sir Dave's favorite tractor and get over to that shelf and that green bin there and my air hose. I can shuffle my way through there. I've always been doing that. Has always been the same. So then we'll come down here. And I have to squeeze myself through here to get to the wood. And eventually, as time goes on, this kindling stuff here will be gone, and then this little thing I built here will be gone, and that'll give me more room to get into the wood. And by then, though, too, that wood will be should be mostly gone. And then we'll start on to this side. So anyway, I can shuffle my way through in here to get to my air compressor to turn that on and off. So that's been the same as always also. So my biggest problem in here with this one extra tractor is taking up this space here where the case is at. So like if I have trouble with one of these tractors, then it's nice to have this extra space where this tractor is to work on it. So I don't have that this year. Let's just hope that nothing breaks down, I guess. Oh well, I guess if it breaks down, it breaks down. So what else am I going to say here? I got to do some work on the John Deere. I'm kind of surprised that it's not charging. I thought for sure that I had that fixed up last year because I had done some things to it and whatever. So I'm going to get into looking at that. I'll look through the manual and see what I can find, and I have my meter here, so hopefully I can figure that out. Yeah, she's not putting out those 11 and a half volts is all it's putting out, so that's not good. Anyway, we'll get at that someday. And holy cats, the stuff is just unreal. Stuff. I still didn't get to this yet. I gotta get at that. I did take home batteries. This is out of Grunt. That's Grunt's battery. And then over here, over here, in behind the bottle with the kerosene for the kerosene lamp oil bottle, that battery there is out of the Green Thing, which is a Yardworks lawn tractor. And then this one here, I have no idea where I got that, but I've been using it for a booster battery kind of thing for quite a few years. Anyway, I charged up those 3 batteries the other day, and I got to put the Grunt battery in where that open spot is yet. So that's done. So those batteries come out of Grunt and the Green Thing, and then Massey Ferguson 16. My son took that battery out, and he keeps it at his place. So those 3 tractors were put away in storage over the weekend. And boys, we did a lot of stuff over the weekend, my son and I. I might set this up here, and I'll sit myself down, and we'll finish the update here. Okay, so we're going to finish up here on the update. Hopefully I can remember all the stuff I was going to say. Yeah, so the son was off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday for Thanksgiving weekend. And holy cats, we got a lot of stuff done. Let's say we got those 3 tractors. We've got Grunt and the Green Thing and the MF16. Decks were cleaned, and the fuel stabilizer was put in, and anything we thought we needed to fix now before spring was done, and they were put into a building, and that's where they went. They're all stored away for the winter. Yesterday we got the MF7 that I normally have here for cutting the grass, and we got his MF8. We got those fuel stabilizer in them, cleaned the deck on the MF7. Now, to clean the deck on the MF7, I got about less than a handful of grass off of it. Yeah, just clean as can be. There's no buildup at all. So, of course, this summer was dry, and we hadn't cut grass really since the 1st of August. But I did use the MF7 before that, so. And outside on this side of the garage, the grass seemed to grow there, so the last time I cut the grass here was last Monday, I think, or this past Monday. And it was green and long here, and that was the only part that I cut with the MF7. The rest of the grass I cut with the Sears that I had here. So even cutting that long wet grass here by the garage, there still was no buildup on the deck. So that was kind of surprising. And if you rubbed on the stuff that was there, what you would get would be the shiny Pour 15 that I had put on the deck last year. So it seems to work pretty good, that Pour 15. So anyway, it's a 55-year-old deck or so, and it's still going. So I hope to try and keep it going as long as I can keep going at it. Anyway, so yeah, so those two tractors now, then we got those into another little building. And what we had in that building was the Ford YT16H. So it is out of there because it went in 3 years ago. We never did anything with it after the hydro got kind of screwy. So, and we knew that we were never going to do anything with it. So out it went. So in goes the 7 and the 8. And to help with mice control, we left the engine monitors left up a bit. We put in mothballs, and we put in little cups of pine sol. A little cup about that big, and might put about that much pine sol in it and leave that in there. And we're going to put some bounce dryer sheets in there too yet, so that's got to get done yet. So those three things we think are going to help keep the mice out of stuff. And he did that in his lean-to shed where he has his Rambler and his Studebaker and where his Mustang is going to go. And he just takes some and just kind of sprinkle it on the ground, and every time you walk by that little lean-to, you smell the pine sol. So they say that the rodents, or the varmints as I call them, they don't like the smell of that pine sol. And I got this idea from Craig at Everyday Projects. So if he says it works, then it works. So there you go. Man, I kind of want to get back onto the YT16H Ford tractor. So the Y stands for yard tractor. It's not necessarily a garden tractor, and it's not necessarily a lawn tractor. It's kind of an in-between. It's a fairly heavy machine also. It could actually be called a garden tractor in my mind, but anyway, it's called a yard tractor. So, being that this tractor was taken apart, and son wanted the engine, was the idea of some of it, because we knew the engine worked, but the hydro didn't work. And like I say, I don't want to get into trying to find parts and fix that, because that's not for me. So, anyway, we still had the deck. So I thought, well, maybe we'll try and sell the deck for a couple $100 or something, just somebody might have use for it. So going along here, I guess, I'm on a few internet sites that are garden tractor related. So I'm on the garden tractor talk, and I'm on Tractor Fanatics, and there's 2 case sites that I'm on. And then there's a Facebook site that I'm on. It's called I can't remember the name. Real Garden Tractors, I think. And then I'm a member of the Antique Tractor and Engine Club in northern Nova Scotia, so they're not necessarily into garden tractors, but I'm a member of that club just for fun, basically. I don't go to the meetings or anything because it's in the other province, so I don't go to that kind of stuff. But when they have something, I sometimes go to their events, and they did come to an event over here in Prince Edward Island this year. So anyway, so I post things there sometimes with my garden tractors, and they like that. Anyway, on the garden tractor talk the other day, I noticed a message from a fellow that he had just kind of gotten into tractors, and he had a YT16H tractor, and he was getting it running, and I guess it came with snow blower and maybe something else, but I think the two things that came with it were not for that tractor. It just was kind of, it just came with it, and that was it. So anyway, he kind of got the tractor working and running and all that kind of stuff, and he mentioned that he'd like to get a snow blower so he can use it in the wintertime, and then get a mowing deck for it so he can cut grass in summertime. So he didn't have a mowing deck for it. So I messaged, I said, well, I said, they're a good tractor, and I said, I just dismantled one here, and I said, I have a mowing deck, but you're in Quebec and I'm in Prince Edward Island, so that's kind of too far away for you. So, but anyway, so he messaged back and he said, I forget now how the conversation went. Anyway, he might be interested in it. I said, all right. So we're back and forth a little bit, and so it's come to the point now where he wants to come to Prince Edward Island next spring and pick up the deck, and I also offered the tractor to him too. He could take the tractor apart. The only thing in the tractor is the hydro and well and front end parts and stuff like that. Anyway, I said you could take all that too. So then he asked me how much, and I said, well, if you want to come and take it, you can have it for free, as long as somebody gets some use out of it. I'm never going to use it. It doesn't fit anything that I have, so somebody must be able to get some use out of it. So anyway, so we exchanged our contact information, and he's going to give me a call next spring, and he says he's coming to get it. So there you go. Anyway, that's good. At least somebody gets a use out of it. Deck worked fine. It cut grass great. The spindles all were good, and all the spindles have grease nipples on them, and it was a good working deck. So what else did we do? We cleaned we cleaned the rear 6-foot finish mower, rear discharge mower that's on the back of the Ferguson tractor. So we put that up on the hoist and got a look underneath it, and it was as clean as a whistle and didn't have anything in it either. And we used it quite a bit this summer. So anyway, that's fine. So we have a spot for it to be stored. Well, sadly, it's outside, but anyway, but it is on pallets and up off the ground. So we got that put away, and we serviced what we had to service with it, and that's done. So then we put the 7-foot rear blade on the Ferguson tractor. The son uses it sometimes for clearing snow. And mentioning that, the snow sticks to it quite a bit, so son wanted to put the clear coat on it. So he bought a can of clear coat that you would use a brush to put the clear coat on with. So I've never used that before, so that's we're going to see how that works. It sure puts on a nice thick coat, nice and shiny and slippery, so it should shed off the snow fairly well. So we got that done. We also put the clear coat on the MF14 bulldozer blade on the front, and yeah, oh boy, we did a lot of stuff on the weekend. Yeah. A lot of stuff. And like I say, I'm going to forget half of the things. But anyway, I'd say we're probably 3/4 to 7/8 done of trying to get things done for winter storage. So one thing left to do is his Ford 1210 tractor, to get it in and get it serviced and then get the snowblower put on it. And yeah, there's still things to do, but we're getting there. Yeah, great weekend, 5 days working away together, and a good dinner on Monday. We had a nice turkey dinner, and then you get all the turkey soup after that. Well, yeah, it's not my thing, but anyway, I'll eat it. But it's not my favorite thing. There now, so I don't know. I guess that's probably it. I've done enough rambling and going on foolish for a midweek update, I'd say. So we'll call her at that, I suppose. So whatever I have forgotten, hopefully I'll remember for the Sunday chat coming up. All right, so have a great day wherever you're at and whatever you're doing, and we'll be chatting soon.